Don't you feel old when all these people in our heyday were, kicking, and man, we could have got so many more good Bruce Willis films. We're lucky to get what we got, but yeah, definitely explains those straight to video ones he did. So I think everyone felt like a dick after realizing he was doing it for the money.
Problems.
Yeah. And speaking of that, poor Frankie Valli. I know. You talk about this, Mitch. It's sad and also entertaining in a shitty, fucked up way at the same time.
It's like Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I wish, and you never know. I mean, sometimes money can be mismanaged. And,
for sure.
And things like that. I hope it's seriously him just doing it for the love of doing it, not just because he has to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's one of those things where if you watch it, there's a couple of shows, and they've shown like newer shows and things like that where he's actually moving around and singing and stuff. And I feel like they kind of phone it in. And I know that there's fans out there that want to see him, but it's very easy to see that it's lip syncing, and you feel like he's out there for a purpose other than just loving to do it, kind of thing.
Yeah. I have a bad feeling it's for the money. He's got a Las Vegas residency, and unfortunately, as we get older and know more of the business, sort of like these actors, we think are loaded, aren't, and sometimes they're paycheck to paycheck, like a lot of us. And when they get old and they overspend or badly invest in stuff, They claimed elder abuse for Stan Lee, even, which I don't know what's going on with that. It's pretty hush now since he's passed, but sadly, it's like we were talking about Bruce Willis. Obviously, they can get money doing shitty things, and people are paying to see this guy on stage, and
people can get good money for doing shitty things too.
I mean, I guess, of course, and it's Vegas.
A couple of other examples, though, would be Frank Sinatra. I mean, that man was in his late stages of dementia.
Yeah.
When he was still out there performing, and he'd sit down and he'd be singing from paper and stuff, so he wouldn't remember any of the words.
Yeah.
But I know that it uses a different part of your brain when you're singing and stuff like that, so you can still, remember some things. But I mean, it was you felt bad. And then also you've got Stan Lee, who I don't know if it ever came out as true or not, but like people were abusing him, not physically, but just his good nature and all that stuff. And you get the feeling of towards the end there, people were maybe mismanaging his money, so
easily
he had to go and do these Comic-Con shows and all that stuff when he could have been living out the rest of his life. But I know that he loved the movie business, and I know that was something that he was excited about.
Oh yeah, it's a great time
to see him in those cameos. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, he was. That was a very passionate thing for him. He definitely wanted to be a part of that process, because for him it was, years in the making.
Yeah.
For there to be not only a good adaptation on film, but a one that had a good a good sized following. It wasn't just kind of laughed at or dismissed.
It was unimaginable for him to get that opportunity. Before that, for all that, it was Mallrats. And I didn't even know who the hell he was, because, of course, I wasn't hugely invested in the comics, knowing more of the ins and outs of it. I was just, kind of a glancer, if you will. But what a great legacy. And, it's just sad, I don't know. Frankie Valli, of course, he sings Grease is the word. Can't Take My Eyes Off You, Beggin', Four Seasons. I think that's his band or it's a song, but man, he's got a great voice, or had a great voice. It's sad, but you know what? In the end, he's got to eat, and I get that. I totally get that. If that's all you can do to survive, fucking do it,
Well, you got to remember, he came from a time where, he came from a time where a lot of music producers were just swindling the heck, and there's a YouTube video out there. I can't remember where it is, but it's Prince talking about how messed up the music industry is. And you hear these music artists selling millions of copies, but they're making maybe 25 cents on the dollar for these things. And even at that, they're barely able to break by because they've got then royalties, and all sorts of other things. And I think, as much as I don't like Taylor Swift, she understands the music industry better than most, and bought all the rights to her stuff, started remaking her albums, and under her new label, her own label, and then changing them ever so slightly, adding a new song here or there, so that her fan base would say, "Oh, I don't have that copy. I better go out and buy it because it's,
Yeah, she's very, I agree with that. I'm not a big fan of her music, but she is very business savvy.
Yeah, she gets that from her dad, I think, too, who huge investor, I believe.
And it all kind of depends too on the support system you have behind you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at like NSYNC, Britney Spears, they were getting just royally screwed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they were getting hosed.
I mean, some might have been getting screwed by that producer guy, which is a documentary on Netflix I still got to catch, but holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, you never really know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe he's like, I want to have one last run. Hopefully that's what it is. I hope it's nothing, sinister.
Not a little run, right? Just like a run Yeah.
I mean, he is short.
I kid. I feel bad, but again, like if people pay, and in the end, maybe people. I mean, I'm sure there's new fans now who've seen clearly he's lip syncing. Maybe they just want to be in the same room as him. Maybe that's the best they can get out of him. Is like, hey, I'm in his presence at least. Whether he's singing or not. But yeah. It's just one of those trends that's going around, and I feel guilty for watching it. I know it's just a messed up entertainment thing, and I mean, I wish him the best. He's 90 years old, so holy shit, my grandparents wouldn't do that at his age or at their age, whatever. But
they say the way to live the longest is to stay active, and
that's why we're gonna do this show until we're dead.
We're gonna make him do this till he's 90.
Yeah.
How the fuck could I relate to anyone by then? They're all dead probably, or.
Well, and if you think of everything, I mean, drugs and alcohol and all that stuff. I mean, he beat the odds. Mm-hmm. You look at some of these rock stars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They either have to get clean for their own health, or they end up passing at an early age and stuff like that. I mean, I went to Judas Priest this year, and that guy's like well into his 70s.
Oh yeah.
And I tell you what, you can't. He's out there. Every song change was a jacket change, and he was sweating up a storm. But he was out there singing, and his voice doesn't sound any different from when he first started singing, and that's because he takes care of himself. Yeah, he stopped drinking. He got smart about it, and he's been able to live on that legacy. For so much longer because he's just smart. Yeah.
Stay active. Look at William Shatner. He's 92 or 3, and man, he's kicking ass.
Yeah.
Still.
You said he's 93?
I think so, or 92. One of those. Yeah.
I know that.
And I saw him over 10 years ago at a con, and I thought for sure that was pretty much it for him. But man, again, he gets paid, and thankfully he can still act and all that goodness. He's not phoning that in per se, but I don't know. We'd be lucky if we, who knows, by the time we ingest more drugs, the legal drugs, maybe we'll live over 100. So we'll be covering the Marvel Phase 20 or whatever the hell.
God, I hope not.